Hello students, welcome to the course Atoms and Molecules for MSc Physics Semester 2 as per the revised syllabus of Savitribai Phule Pune University CBCS 2019 pattern. So we are studying the first module Atoms. In the previous lecture we have studied the revision of quantum numbers. In this lecture, we are going to study the Pauli exclusion principle, Above principle, Wundt's rule, and electron configuration in detail. So, in the previous lecture, we have studied the revision of quantum numbers. The quantum numbers denote the position and energy of the electron in an atom. Each quantum number denotes either the energy, size, shape or direction of the orbital. Some of the quantum numbers also represent the angular momentum and behavior of the electron in external magnetic field. We use a set of quantum numbers to represent a particular electron in an atom. So we have discussed various quantum numbers in the previous lecture, and out of them only 4 are important to completely specify the position of an electron in an orbital. So in the previous lecture we have discussed various quantum numbers such as principal quantum number n, orbital or azimuthal quantum number L, magnetic quantum number m or ml or Lz, spin quantum number s, spin magnetic quantum number ms or Sz, total angular momentum quantum number J, and total magnetic angular momentum quantum number Mj or Jz. So, out of them only 4 are important to completely specify the position of electron in an orbital. These 4 are highlighted with different color. So, we have studied different orbitals. So the Schrodinger equation shows that the electron in atom occupy orbitals of the same type and shape as the s, p, d or f orbitals we have discussed earlier. So let us study the electronic configuration. The electron configuration describes how the electrons are distributed in the various atomic orbitals. In a ground state hydrogen atom, the electron is found to be in the 1s orbital, right? So this is electron is in the 1s orbital, and therefore we can write the ground state electronic configuration of hydrogen as 1s1, right? So this 1 denotes the principal quantum number n, which is equal to 1. This s denotes the angular momentum. So angular momentum quantum number L is equal to 0. And this 1 refers the number of electrons in the orbital or subshell. So here we use the up arrow that indicates an electron with ms or Lz is equal to plus half, right? So in the case of hydrogen atom, all the subshells in a given shell are degenerate. That means at the same energy, that is in the case of 2s and all the 2p orbitals at the same energy. Why this is so? Because there are several interactions in the atom. One is nucleus electron interaction and another one is electron-electron interaction. Since there is only one electron in the hydrogen atom, the electron-electron interaction is absent and therefore all the subshells in a given shell are degenerate. Here we have one electron placed in the 1s orbital in the hydrogen atom. The question will arise when the second electron came into picture, where it will go, right? So that explanation was given by Pauli exclusion principle. In 1925, Wolfgang Pauli, an Austrian physicist and Nobel laureate, he proposed the exclusion principle. So Pauli exclusion principle states that no two electrons in an atom can have an identical set of four quantum numbers n, l, ml and ms, right? The state of the electron can be completely specified by the four quantum numbers, namely n, l, ml and ms, right? So this rule is effectively limits to 2 the number of electrons in each orbital. An example may make this clear. We may characterize both an orbital and an electron occupying it by specifying the n, l and m quantum numbers. Thus, a 1s orbital or 1s electron has n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0 and Lz or m or ml is equal to 0. The electron and not the orbital is further characterized by specifying its spin direction, that is by specifying Hz is equal to plus half or Hz is equal to minus half. Thus we can write n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0, Lz is equal to 0, Hz is equal to plus half and n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0, Lz is equal to 0, Hz is equal to minus half, right? Thus, two electrons can together occupy 1s orbital, provided according to Pauli's principle that one has the set of values that are given by this, right? So n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0, Lz is equal to 0 and Hz is equal to half, and another one with having values n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0, Lz is equal to 0 and Hz is equal to minus half. So please remember that I am using the Lz for ml and Sz for ms quantum numbers. Thus 1s orbital we can write, so first electron spin in the upward direction and we cannot place the second electron with the upward spin, right? So this is wrong way, right? So we have to place like this. So first electron with the upward spin and the second electron with the downward spin, that is the correct way to represent. We can say that the two electrons occupying the same orbital only if they are paired or opposed, right? Now let us consider the helium atom. So helium has two electrons. So second electron will be paired in the case of helium, and we can write the ground state electronic configuration of helium as 1s2, right? So here we can say the use of an up arrow indicates the electron with ms or Lz is equal to plus half, and down arrow indicates the electron with ms or Lz value minus half, right? Now we can write the four quantum numbers for these two electrons. So for upward electron, the principal quantum number is 1, angular momentum quantum number L is 0, magnetic quantum number ML or Lz is 0, and electron spin or ms or Hz quantum number is plus half. And for the second electron, principal quantum number is 1, angular momentum quantum number L is 0, magnetic quantum number is 0, and electron spin quantum number is minus half, right? Now the question will arise when third electron came into picture. It cannot be placed in the same orbital by replacing the values of n, l, Lz and Sz, right? It has to place into some other orbital, and the choice is determined by another rule known as above principle, right? For the third electron, the orbital available for are 2s and 3 2p orbitals in the L shell, right? Therefore, it will prefer to go in the lower energy orbital available, that is 2s orbital. The above principle tells us that the electrons tend to occupy the orbital with lowest energy available. Therefore, for the third electron, the orbitals available are 2s and 2p orbitals. Let us consider the example of lithium which has 3 electrons. So first 2 electrons we can place in 1s orbital, and for the third electron the orbitals available are 2s and 3 2p orbitals in L shell. So in which level it will go? So that is determined by the above principle, right? So above principle tells us that electrons tends to occupy the orbital with lowest energies available, right? So here in the case of lithium is that, right? So we have 2s and 3 2p orbitals, and therefore the third electron will prefer to go in the 2s orbital because which is lower in energy than 2p orbitals. One more thing we should note here is that in the case of hydrogen atom, the energy levels in a subshell are degenerate, that is at the same energy. For example, 2s and all the 3 orbitals of 2p are at the same energy in the case of hydrogen. Then 3s and 3p and 3d are at the same energy in the case of hydrogen. But for multi-electron atoms, there will be splitting in the subshell. It is because there is electron-electron interaction term that will take into effect, and because of that energy levels will be splitted, right? And therefore the 2s is lower than the 2p and so on, right? So for helium and other heavy atoms, the 2s is slightly lower in energy than the 2p, and also 3s is slightly lower in energy than 3p or 3d, and therefore our third electron will go in the 2s level, right? So the 1s orbital can accommodate only 2 electron, that is because of Pauli exclusion principle, and the third electron must go in the next available orbital with the lowest energy possible, that is because of the above principle. And therefore we can write the ground state electronic configuration of lithium, and that is equal to 1s2 2s1. That means 2 electrons in the 1s orbital and 1 electron in the 2s orbital, right? Now let us consider for another atom, beryllium. So beryllium has 4 electrons. So where these 4 electrons will go? So again 2 electrons they will go in the 1s orbital, third electron will go in the second, so 2s orbital, right? Now when the fourth electron will go, it will again it will pair with the 2s electron, right? So the fourth electron must go in the next available orbital with the lowest possible energy, that is 2s orbital with down spin, right? So that we have learned from Pauli's principle and above principle, right? And therefore we can write the ground state electronic configuration for beryllium, which is equal to 1s2 2s2, right? So the 2 electrons in the 1s orbital and 2 electron in the 2s orbital, so electronic configuration is 1s2 2s2. Now in the case of boron, which has 5 electrons, 2 electrons they will go in the 1s orbital, 2 electrons they will go in the 2s orbital, and the fifth electron that will go in the one of the 2p orbital available, right? Now the fifth electron must go in the next available orbital, that is the lowest possible energy, that is one of the 2p orbital with up spin. And the ground state electronic configuration of boron, we can write it is 1s2 2s2 2p1. Now if the sixth electron came into picture, where it should go? Whether it will go to the next 2p orbital or pair with the first electron with down spin, and the solution is given by next rule, that is Hund's rule. So Hund's rule states that the electrons tend to occupy degenerate orbitals singly with their spins parallel. So Hund's rule states that when, for example, 2px orbital contains an electron, the next electron will go into a different 2p, say 2py orbital, and a third electron into a 2pz orbital. This may be looked upon as a consequence of the repulsion between electrons, right? The fourth electron has no choice but to pair its spin with an electron in the one of the 2p orbital, while the fifth and sixth electron will complete the filling of the three 2p's, right? Let's see how this will happen, right? So in the case of carbon, we have 6 electrons. So 2 electrons, they will go in the 1s orbital, 2 electrons, they will go in the 2s orbital, and since the next orbital available are 2p, the 2p orbitals are of equal energy or degenerate, so we can put one electron in each before pairing, right? So the 2 electrons, they will go in the two different 2p orbitals with their spins unpaired, right? The ground state electronic configuration of carbon, we can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? So next case is nitrogen, which has 7 electrons. So in the case of nitrogen, 2 electrons, they will go in the 1s orbital, 2 electrons, they will go in the 2s orbital, and the next 3 electrons, they will go in the 3 different p orbitals with their spins unpaired. And the electronic configuration of nitrogen, we can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. In the case of oxygen, we have 8 electrons, and the 8th electron has no choice but to pair with one of the electron in the one of the 2p orbital, right? And the ground state electronic configuration of oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. In the case of fluorine, we have 9 electrons, right? So they will be filled like this, right? So 8 electron that will be paired with one of the electron, 9th electron that will again paired with one of the electron in the available orbitals, and the ground state electronic configuration, we can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. In the case of neon, we have 10 electrons, and out of which the 4 electrons, they will go in the 2s orbitals, and next 3 electrons, they will go in the 3 2p orbitals with their spins unpaired, and the right. So next 3 electrons, they will pair with the 3 electrons, right? So that means all the orbitals in the case of neon, they are completely filled, right? So 2p orbitals, they are completely filled. That means all the electrons, they are paired, and their electronic configuration, we can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. And the electronic configuration describes how the electrons are distributed in various atomic orbitals, right? So the ground state electronic configuration of neon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. That means 2 electrons in the 1s orbital, 2 electrons in the 2s orbital, and 6 electrons in the 2p orbital. Since 2p has maximum capacity of 6 electrons, that means all the we can say 2s, 2p orbitals in the L shell, that means n is equal to 2 shell, are complete. That means neon is called as a noble gas atom, right? So neon is called as noble gas atom because it's the outermost shell, that is L shell, is completely filled, right? For heavier atoms, we can write the electronic configuration based on certain rules, right? So what are these rules? So general rules to describe the electronic configuration. First, the electrons will reside in the orbitals available of the lowest possible energy. Each suborbital can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons, and electrons will not pair in degenerate orbitals if an empty orbital is available, right? So based on these 3 rules, we can write the electronic configuration of higher atoms, right? So orbitals will fill in the order indicated in the figure. So first 1s orbital will be filled, then 2s orbital will be filled, then 2p, and then 3s orbital will be filled. The next orbital that is filled is 3p, and then 4s orbital will fill. After 4s, the 3d orbital will fill, and then 4p and 5s orbitals will be filled. Then 4d orbital will fill, and then 5p and then 6s orbital will fill, right? Then 4p and then 5d, and then 6p and then 7s orbital will be filled. Then 5f, then 6d, and then 7p orbital will fill, right? So in summary, we have studied the Pauli exclusion principle. Above principle Wound's rule and electron configuration for atoms. Thank you.